What's up, everybody? You're back in here with the Pro Football Pod. It's your boy Hulk, riding solo. That's okay. And we're just doing what we do, bringing you the betting preview Friday Fun Day for you, for the fans. So, Colby and Austin, we'll hold it down for you. Maybe listen to this. Maybe we'll help you win a little money. If you bet on the Dolphins last week, you did not win any money. If you bet on the Titans, you did. So that was cool. So let's go ahead and get into it. We've got some games Saturday games this week. What's that all about? Let's go ahead and break down the first game we got coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Minnesota Vikings are going into Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Bengals are -3 at home, over under a 40.5. Now, I personally, like, my brain just immediately goes with the Bengals with the way Jake Browning's been playing, with the way that team has looked with Jake Browning the last couple weeks. Now, what happened to his thumb last week? Probably a little nerve-wracking, but right now I don't think the Vikings have any clue on what they're doing at quarterback. And Nick Mullins, I mean, yeah, okay. I don't know, but it's also Nick Mullins versus Jake Browning. So really, what are you getting? Now, looking into, just some player prop lines, because that's where some good money lies every now and then. Jake Browning over under 235 and a half yards. I love the over on that simply because the Vikings have been very good versus the run, especially as of late. And I could see them just throwing just simply because of game plan. So with that being entail, I think the over is definitely hammerable on that. Also, I like looking at Joe Mixon's over under receiving yards sitting at 26 and a half. Feel like that's really low for how much he's been receiving the ball out of the backfield here lately, especially if you go and look at his over under line at 3.5. So, I mean, you figure if he gets his 4 catches, averages about 7 yards, you're hitting the over on that. So, I mean, I like both of those bets there. Jamar Chase over under 65 and a half. I feel like that's very low, especially with the output that he's done the last couple weeks. But again, that's makes me question what they're really thinking about Jake Browning's thumb. So because of that, this is a kind of an ugly game to start off this Saturday. But hey, it's NFL football on a Saturday. What are we going to do here? So let's go ahead and what's the touchdown props looking like? Joe Mixon anytime -115. Jamar Chase plus 155. Justin Jefferson at plus 165. You hope he plays this full game and doesn't go out with another injury, something again to derail his season. But I mean, this could be a game to where he wants to show out versus his LSU counterpart in Jamar Chase. And, if you wanted to do a little parlay with the two LSU boys, that's plus 475 right there. That's some good, nice little sprinkle for you. So, I like ice cream. I like sprinkles. Give me some sprinkle there. Pittsburgh Steelers, next game up, going into Indianapolis, playing the Colts. Colts are -1.5 at home, over under a 42.5. Going to be honest with that over under, I really don't want to touch it just because I could see this going either way. And prime example with any given Sunday is what the Raiders just gave you. I mean, they go 1 week to scoring 3 total points in a game, get shut out 3-0, and then the next week they are scoring 42 points and a half. That's insane. But it's stuff like that as to why over-unders just honestly terrify me. I'm a baby about it. Call me what you want. Looking at this, though, I like looking at, because of this game being so close, you expect most props should be pretty attainable as long as the game does stay close. Gardner Minshew, 200 plus yards at -270. Obviously, that's a lot of juice, but when we're talking parlay status, I'm looking at that hard, looking at that really hard. I mean, his over under on his yards total is 231.5, and I expect him to get decently close to that. Mitch Trubisky sitting at 195.5. But, most people really like to look at the spreads. And so when you got -1.5, -116 on the money line, this is really just pick a side. And so for me in this, just with the way these teams have played, and I understand the Steelers offense has looked better without Matt Canada, and I understand the Colts just got wrecked on the road versus Cincinnati, but give me the Colts in that dome at home. Like I'll take the Colts in that game. I like the Colts to win that one. For that second game on Saturday, that one's coming at you at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday night game, 8:15 p.m. Denver Broncos at Detroit Lions. Lions are favored at home minus 4.5. I know the Lions play great at home, but with the way these two teams are playing, one's doing this and one's doing this. So with that trajectory there, I almost like the Broncos plus 4.5. Like that, I feel like they really can keep it within a field goal. So if I was leaning aside on that, I would lean plus 4.5. This is an over under that I would feel pretty confident on, and that's the over 47.5. The Lions at home typically put up 30 points by themselves. So if you're looking at that with the Lions just absolute trash of pass defense, you're asking the Broncos to put up 18 points to be able to hit that over. Yeah, I'll take those odds. So because of that, give me the over on that as well. Do they have the lines listed yet for that game in the player prop market? They do. Jared Goff, 255.5 yards listed right now on FanDuel. Russell Wilson, 217.5. I like Russell's over a lot more than I like Goff's. Like, I do expect Goff to probably hit that over. But Russ, for me, in a dome, in a game to where they are projected to lose, and so you project they're playing from behind, I don't see why he can't give you 100 yards in the fourth quarter just trying to come back. So, like, that alone right there, like, I love Russell's over on that. That's something I'm really going to be keeping my eye on, making sure, that's not bouncing up and down too much. Also looking at Jahmyr Gibbs, 52.5 yards. Now they're starting to give him a lot more love here as of late because they've been keeping him right around that 35, 45 yard range. So he's starting to get a lot more love. I like Jahmyr more than I like David Montgomery's over of 69.5. Like Montgomery, he's shown it to you, and he's just easily can give you 20 carries for 115 yards. But Gibbs is also working into his workload a lot. And for 52.5 yards, I basically need Jahmyr to carry the ball 8 to 10 times. And I feel confident in getting that. And with the work he's been getting lately, I think he'll probably get that as well. Another one I'm looking at for sure, Courtland Sutton, 52.5 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 42.5 yards. Those receiving lines versus this Detroit Lions pass defense are very low, especially again in a game where you expect them to be behind. Like I don't know, like Jerry Jeudy, 2 deep balls and he can get that. Like, so for me, I'm looking at the overs there. You always want to look at the overs for the quarterback and the wide receivers in a game where they're projected to be down. You want to look at the overs for the running backs in a game that, they're projected to be up. Things like that for you. If you're new to betting, if you're not, that's redundant. You know this. So, looking at a side in this game, like I said, I want to lean the Broncos plus 4.5. I know the Lions are playing at home, but that's where I'm leaning on that. I like the over more than I like the spread on that. Just give me points in the night with just hella touchdowns. Just give me all the points, all the tutties. Now, let's move on into Sunday. What do you say? What do you say? Is everybody okay with that? Are we good with that? All right. Now, before we move in, there are, if you do play in the FanDuel markets, hashtag no sponsors, hashtag no ads. They've got a couple boost up there for you. David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Courtland Sutton to combine for 2+ touchdowns at plus 120. That's a great bet. That is a great bet for 3 of the top 4 to 5 guys. You just need 2 of them to score once or 1 of them to score twice. If David Montgomery gives you 2 touchdowns by himself, you're sitting pretty. I mean, so plus 120 for that on a boost, that's not bad right there. So the $50 max on that for you, if you went ahead and put that in, it's 60 in return, you know, a little more than doubling your money. That's what we like to see. Another boost they've got there is Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, like I said, the LSU boys, to combine for 155 receiving yards or more at plus 150. That one's a little rich for my blood because, again, Justin Jefferson, I've got Nick Mullins throwing you the ball. I don't feel great about that one. I don't feel great about that. I like the other one much more. And you also have until Saturday night to wait to pull the trigger on that one. So go ahead and, you know, look at that. So one of the, you know, I feel like this one might be a trap. These two right here that I'm about to give to you guys, Saturday specials, 1 or more points to be scored in each quarter of all 3 Saturday games at plus 115. Feel like that could be a trap. I mean, because you need a safety, a field goal, just something by any team in all 3 games. You just need points every quarter. Gonna tell y'all, I already threw a little bit of change on that because I mean, you're just rooting for touchdowns all day. Like, just give it to me. Just space them out. You know, like don't just get all your scoring in the first quarter. That's not going to help anybody. Another one: each team to score 1 or more field goal in all 3 Saturday games. So you're looking at what? You need a total of 6 field goals. Each team to just get 1. I mean, that's pretty doable. That's at plus 135. That's not bad odds there for you either. But hey, I told you we're moving into Sunday. Let's move into Sunday. Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Green Bay to play the Packers at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Packers are favored at home minus 3.5, over under of 42.5. Go ahead and give me the Bucs. Like, I know that's wild to say, but the Packers can be run on, and Rachaad White's having a really solid season. I like the Bucs. I think the Bucs, they've been playing great. I've been praising Baker all year. He's just a dog. Like, I love the guy. But I mean, the Packers are playing at home the way they've been playing here lately. They just lost a absolute heartbreaker to the Giants, whereas the Bucs just won on, you know, just praying at the end there to K Dotton. I mean, does that guy really ever score touchdowns? So I mean, like, to me, it's just one team's here, and one team is very angry and one's very relieved. So looking at the opposites there, I like the Packers in that they're getting you with the minus 3.5 though. They're really getting you. So I would maybe try to buy some points. You know, if we're looking at buying points on that there, let me go ahead and see what's my alternate line. So, I mean, if you wanted, you could get the Packers minus 2.5 at minus 156. Yes, it's a little bit of juice, but that 1 point there can save you. That can save you. That 1 point can be the difference between paid out and, you know, guys, we're eating baked beans for Christmas this year. So let's go ahead and, you know, run those winning slips there. They don't have any player props listed for this here yet. Yeah, they do. Okay, I lied to you. I'm very sorry. We won't lie. Jordan Love, 250.5 passing yards. Baker Mayfield, 212.5. I actually like that for Jordan Love because Tampa, their pass defense has been terrible. And Jordan Love's been doing a great job of just spreading the ball around, not really targeting in on one person. So I really like that. Like I said, I was praising Rachaad White. His over-under rushing yards is 76.5. Don't know how much I like that in a game to where they're expected to be down. And like, I wouldn't be shocked if he breaks one off and he comes close. But in a game like this, I like his over 21.5 receiving yards much more. They don't have Chris Godwin listed yet, so we don't know the status on him. Jaden Reed's the only wide receiver for the Packers listed at 54.5 receiving yards. I feel like that's a little much as far as with how much he's running the ball out, but I guess they do count the, you know, toss sweeps, the jet sweeps, the little, you know, shovel pass in front, that they count that as a pass. So that's, that is yardage there. But overall in this game here, I like the under 42.5. I don't know how many points will be scored, but again, Tampa's pass defense is terrible, so that is kind of sketchy. So to each his own on that one. Just kind of be a little weary. Be weary of it one time. All right, New York Giants going into New Orleans to play the Dirty Saints. Minus 5.5 on the spread for the Saints at home. Over under of 39.5. Love the under on that. Saints have a really good defense. The Giants offense, while they, had that great comeback and looked solid versus the Packers, Tommy DeVito, the great story, more of the story of his agent sitting on the sideline rocking that fedora. Just all respect to him. It just, paisan. So I like the under on that because the Saints defense is pretty solid, especially when they play at home. They're pretty stingy. I don't like the Saints minus 5.5 on that spread though. Their offense to me just doesn't scream, "Hey, we're going to score a lot of points." So because of that, like I'll lean the Giants plus 5.5, but that's honestly I'm staying away from that spread. Like I'm not touching the spread. I lean the under 39.5 because I don't expect many points to be scored. This is a great game for that over under to be thrown into a teaser there for you. Either way you like it, I would throw that in a teaser. Especially this next game as well. Atlanta Falcons going into Carolina to play the Panthers. I believe I saw online you can get tickets to this game right now for under $1. So, if you've just got a Washington just burning in your pocket and you've got the gas to get there, I mean, go get you a ticket, go see a game. And, it might not be the best game, but, drink some beers, talk to some people, have a good time. It sounds great, right? If I lived close enough, I would. But, Charlotte's a hefty little drive for me, and I'm just not doing it. Anyways, Falcons are actually favored on the road right now, -3, rightfully so. The Carolina Panthers have won one game, which was an absolute fluke versus the Houston Texans, but that's neither here nor there. The over-under on this bad boy is 33.5. That is very low. Very low, especially, whenever you look at that and we're coming off of a game where the over under was 34.5 and one team scored 42 by themselves in the first half. Any given Sunday terrifies me. I don't want to do it. I don't think I should do it. This is another one I'm throwing into a teaser. I'm going to go ahead and have the teaser for this over under put in there. Go ahead, if you hike that baby all the way up to 14 points, you're getting 47.5 on this. There ain't no way 47 points are being scored in this game. Go ahead and teaser that baby up. I like the Falcons -3 on the road. I think the Falcons have been playing pretty decent as of late. They took the Bucs right down there to the wire. I know the Bucs aren't the most elite team, but they played solid. And player prop wise on this, I mean, I expect Bijan to get some solid work here. Now, I say that hesitantly just simply because, I mean, right now he's projected 65.5 yards, and he probably will get that. And I feel good about the over on that. But his line for that was also pretty close in the Jets game, and that was another game where we knew their run defense was not near as good as their pass defense, and he should have been able to run on them handedly. And it got very nervous there in going into the fourth quarter, whether he was going to hit his line or not. So that's just something to be a little weary of. The line I like actually better is Tyler Algier, 31.5 yards. Go ahead and give me the over on that bad boy and the over on Bryce Young, 10.5 yards. I like Bryce to scoot for a little bit. Desmond Ritter, 13.5. I think he'll scoot for a little bit. Anytime for me, you get these semi-mobile quarterbacks, these guys that can run, but it's not really like the second or even third option for them, but they can do it. And you're getting them at anything around 15 to 20 yards. The over on those are so valuable this year because quarterbacks are becoming more prone to, I've got 7 yards of grass in front of me. Let me go get it and just slide down real quick. You do that a couple times and you're hitting the over. Now, it is kind of nerve-wracking just hoping for a scramble, or they might get one scramble for 4 yards and get popped, and then you're, want to throw up. But I mean, hey, that's why we do this, right? You know, if you've got some problems, it's 1-800-GAMBLER. Just give it a call. Moving on. Need some agua. All right. So let's see what we got next on the slate. Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Titans are minus 3.5 at home, rightfully so, the way they just played on Monday Night Football. And the Texans are without CJ Stroud. Believe that Davis Mills still there? The giraffe? Davis Mills? Can I stretch my neck? I can't do it. All right. Davis Mills. Yeah, go ahead and give me the Titans minus the 3.5 on that. I know I don't typically like that hook there, but this is a game I could see them winning by a touchdown. The Texans are definitely going to take a step back without Stroud, and depending on the health of Nico, Tank Dell's already out, Dalton Schultz still out. Things like that lead me to just absolutely want to hammer the Titans, especially after what they did just, versus that Dolphins team. And, that's not me just hyping up my guys. We got our guys here, but the Titans played well. Like, the Titans played great. Vrabel's teams are always going to play really solid defense. And because of that, I love the under 36.5 on this as well. I typically stay away from, the really low unders because they're just terrifying. But this is one to where I don't expect many points to be scored necessarily. It's at Tennessee, so you're getting, as of right now, it's still an outdoor stadium. And I'm just going to tell you, lately, the weather here in Tennessee has been shit. So I don't expect great weather, but I'm also not a weatherman. So I'm going to go ahead and say 50-50 shot. Something's going to sprinkle on you. Go ahead and take the Titans on that. Lean the under. Next game we've got going on, the Jets going into Miami. I'm going to tell you I'm terrified of this. I am terrified of this game. I shouldn't be, because, all signs point to, the Dolphins should smash them. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, this was going to be a runaway. Like, this was a gimme game, right? Aaron Rodgers wasn't coming back for this one. Like, we got it in the bag, but Zach Wilson did a Zach Wilson game again to where he decided to look solid one more time. Now, I don't know how much the Miami nightlife's going to get to some of those players. You always got to take that into effect. It is a 1:00 game, so the Dolphins are going to be wearing white, which means the Jets are going to be at the very minimum dark green. So they're going to be roasting a little bit over there on the sidelines. But I'm going to tell you now, this is one of those games to where if the Dolphins drop this, they've got a struggle on their hands. Minus 9.5, not touching it. Not touching that in a divisional game where they were just 13.5-point favorites and just didn't even show up the entire game. Like, the entire game did not show up. So I'm not taking the 9.5 on that. I would lean the Jets plus 9.5. The Jets plus 9.5 in a teaser. Great one to throw in your teaser as well. Also, over under on the 37. If Tyreek is out, that we saw that takes a big hit on that offense. So what's going to happen versus that stout passing defense of the Jets? You're going to have to lean on Mostert and Achane most of the game. I expect, Garrett Wilson to have somewhat of a decent output just because, he's really the only target there to throw to. Breece Hall should, pop off maybe one or two Breece Hall type of plays. But this betting wise, I don't want to touch this game because honestly, it's hard for me to bet on Dolphins games just because of how much I go back and forth in my head with it. Again, though, this is just a game just speaking on it. The Dolphins have to win this game. To me, this is a must win because if you drop this game and then you're looking at Dallas, Baltimore, and Buffalo to end your season, that I can't do it. The history of a Dolphins fan, and I want to, it makes me sick. It makes me sick. All right, moving on. Chicago Bears going into Cleveland. Browns are -3 at home, over under 38.5. Joe Flacco just got officially signed to the roster, so congrats to old man Joe. Give me the Browns. Give me the Browns at home with the way Joe's been looking here lately. That defense is still playing solid. You're giving me that defense at home. I'll take the Browns minus the 3 because if anything, I might be looking at a push because I don't see this game being that close. I know the Bears just did what the Bears did versus the Lions, and the Lions have been one of the darlings of the league. They're one of the darlings of this show. But the Browns defense and the Lions defense are very much different animals. And I mean, I can't. The 38.5 on that for me kind of scares me a little bit because Justin Fields can pop off a few plays. So I don't really want to lean the under on that. Another one that you want to throw in the teaser, maybe just looking at it. But we're going to end up with like 10 teams in our teaser, but that's okay. A 10-team, 10-point teaser, you're looking pretty solid there. Next game, Kansas City Chiefs going into the New England Patriots. Patriots are plus 8.5 at home, expectedly so with the way that team has looked as of late. Yeah, they just put a hurting on the Steelers, but it's not like Pittsburgh's offense has been looking great this year. So what's that really saying for you? Chiefs defense has been looking very solid. I love the under on the 37 here because I don't expect the Patriots to really put up too many points at all. Chiefs, you expect good bit of probably running game, short passing game, just chew that clock, get out of there, just take your win. I mean, especially after what BS just took place. I'm not calling the call BS. It was the correct call. I mean, I understand they don't call it all game. You feel your type of way about it, but nonetheless, it was the correct call. Like that is a fact. We can't argue it. Chiefs minus 8.5 though. Yeah, I feel okay about that. I like the 8.5. I'd feel okay at 9.5. I think they can win by 10. I don't know, but then again, it's just the Patriots have nothing else to play for. So Zappy's just happy and he's just out there just launching that baby. So just, we'll see what you got, but keep it within 10, I guess. In no way do you expect the Chiefs to lose this game. So this is one of those games you're looking at, the money line's minus 420, but go ahead and let me throw it into a parlay and, let's just have like a 3-4 team parlay and make some cash on some even money. We're doing good. Moving into the late afternoon set. We're almost done. Appreciate you guys staying around. If you stayed around to this point, be sure to go to our sponsor, our one and only sponsor, Tulsi Rose Tea at tulsirosetea.com. They've got all kinds of teas, tea pots, things to make your tea with, honey sticks. They've got little like honeycombs. Like if you've never actually had honeycomb, like it's legit. It's kind of waxy, but it's very delicious. Anyways, moving on. Washington Commanders going into the Los Angeles Rams there in SoFi Stadium. Rams minus 6.5 at home, over under a 50.5. Rams minus 275 on the money line. This is another one of those games where I like the money line as a parlay potential. I don't really see the Rams losing this indoors, not necessarily at home because it's not like the Rams and Chargers really have a home presence. So that doesn't really concern me. It's more of the indoors. They're not having to worry about that factor. They're staying on the West Coast. So I guess the home factor for the team really does have some effect. Commanders are having to travel all the way over there. So go ahead and give me the Rams minus 6.5. I mean, the Commanders were one of the darlings, the darling of this show in the beginning of the season for fantasy purposes. But here lately, it's been rough sailing. Over under a 50.5. That is a high over under, but I mean, the Commanders can put up points. Like we've seen Sam Howell multiple times this year just absolutely go up and down a field. So, hope for a shootout there. That'd be awesome in the late window. San Francisco, they're going into Arizona, so they're also going to get to play indoors, or I guess they have the roof open for good weather, which is Arizona, so why won't they have good weather? Minus 12.5. Double-digit spreads typically terrify me, but with the Niners, if the Niners are healthy and the Niners have their core guys of Trent Williams, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey all healthy. So yeah, some of the best players in the league. They're top players on offense. Obviously, that they have not lost one single game with those players. If they all start and finish a game together, they don't lose. So they're obviously going to win this game. They're minus 770 on the money line. Now, I say that as a Dolphins fan who just watched it not happen. I get it. But I don't see this Niners team losing to the Cardinals at all. Go ahead and give me that minus 12.5 because I think this could be an absolute bloodbath. I'll take the over on the 48 as well. Like, I'll lean the over on that because I think the Niners can put up 35 on themselves, and the Cardinals are just asking for a couple tutties in garbage time. So go ahead. Yeah, that game, that's one of those you're probably really not watching it very much unless you've got some money in the game, fantasy stakes, because the playoffs are here. But unless you're one of those fans, it's not really going to be that exciting. So good luck to you. Now this game coming up, probably the best game on the slate because of all the implications, the status of the teams, the status of the quarterbacks. Got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. Dak versus Josh. Bills are minus 1.5. Over under a 50. Go ahead and give me the over on that. Just go ahead and give me the over on that. It's not a primetime game. Bills are playing for their playoff lives. Josh Allen even admitted himself, like they know they're basically playing playoff games every week right now. So, I mean, go ahead and give me the over just off the top. Now, if I'm picking a side in this, obviously I want to take my AFC East biased out. So just Buffalo, whatever. But the way the Bills have been playing, the mistakes they make, the way the Cowboys have been capitalizing on mistakes, I like the Cowboys in this game, especially as the underdog. You're getting them plus 116 on the money line. The plus 1.5, I mean, yeah, you can take that at minus 104, but how often do teams really lose by a point? Except for, the Dolphins. Anyways, yeah, give me the Cowboys. Like, I like the Cowboys matchup wise. Josh is going to put up points, but I like the Cowboys to be able to get some pressure on Josh. I wonder, oh, Stevie Wonder, what is Josh Allen's rushing prop? Josh Allen's rushing prop is at 33.5. Go ahead and give me that over a lot. I think Josh can pop off 40 yards here in this game easily just for the factor of Dallas is going to get pressure on him, so he's going to be forced to get out of the pocket. And typically when he does that, yeah, he has the ability, and he's shown it multiple times to just launch it down the field, throw it in a tight window. But if he also sees 10 yards of green grass, he's going to take it. So go ahead and give me the over on that. I really like that. Not too many player props right now released for that game with it being the late window game, but this is another one of those games just touching on the game itself. Like, again, Buffalo is playing playoff games right now. So if they cannot win this game and if they drop another one, if they go 2-2 down the stretch here and finish this season 9-8, I really don't know how I feel about their playoff chances in this just crowded AFC with so many teams at 7-6. And you've got games where, the Texans and the Titans are playing each other. Well, one of those teams have to win, right? I mean, I guess they can tie, and then you've got another one of the Colts and the Steelers. Like, they're right there with it as well. And so, I mean, the Bills, they're playing for their lives right now. They typically play great at home in December. I don't know. Give me the Cowboys. This is the game, though, to where it's huge for Dak, because if Dak can't show that, he can do it on a big stage, more Cowboys at Bills, I would say more than likely Tony Romo's probably calling this game. I haven't seen the CBS lineup or the schedule yet for, what they've got going on for their commentators. But I don't know if they will have Romo do it because of his bias towards the Cowboys and Josh Allen. But We won't get into that. It's just a bunch of anyways. Baltimore Ravens going into Jacksonville for Sunday Night Football. Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, Christian Kirk is out. Zay Jones stepping up. Evan Ingram's been playing great. Isaiah Likely's been playing really good. Keaton Mitchell's been looking solid. Travis Etienne been looking great. Over under 42.5. Ravens favored -3 on the road in prime time. Jaguars tried to fight back last week. They really did. They did all they could versus Cleveland. I like the Ravens, though, -3. The Ravens, to me, are one of those top 4 or 5 teams in the league to where nobody's really wanting to see them right now. And I'll take the Ravens on the road. You're -3. I put a good chunk of chains on the Ravens -3 in Los Angeles when they played the Chargers. I got very nervous at the end, but boys pulled it out. So we're good there. Over under 42.5. I lean the under just because, prime time. Ravens have a very solid defense. The Jaguars defense isn't abysmal. So, I do think they can make stops and maybe force Lamar into 1 or 2 mistakes. So I lean the under on that for sure. Last game on the slate, Philadelphia Eagles going into Seattle. Now, the Eagles are only -3. I say that because I would expect them to actually be more, even though they're on the road in Seattle. Like, I would expect that to be more. I love the over on the 47.5. I know this is prime time, but some prime time games have been showing that, these teams are putting some points up there. So with the way the Eagles offense can score, with the weapons that the Seahawks have on their side, I like the over on that for sure. Give me the Eagles -3 on the road in Seattle. To me, the Eagles, the rest of the way, their schedule, they know if they win out, they control their destiny for the 1 seed. They control their destiny for their division. So I don't really think they're too stressed out right now. Just handle business. And Jalen Hurts, he's going to get 1 or 2 tush pushes into the end zone. So go ahead and look at his anytime touchdown on that. And you've got -150. They're starting to catch on. You're starting to get a little juice on that. So be weary there. I would probably look more at AJ Brown +115, Devontae Smith +165. Ooh, Dallas Goedert. Oh, 290 +290. There's some value here for tutties. But hey, that about does it for us tonight. Appreciate you guys riding with me. This is Hulk riding with you solo. Coach, Austin. We'll see you guys at Christmas time. We'll be back with you fellas, or everybody here as well, next week, dropping some episodes for you before the Christmas break. So be sure to catch those. If you're in your fantasy playoffs, good luck to you. Best of luck to you. If you're playing me, I hope you don't pay attention to your roster at all. TulsiRoseTea.com. All your tea needs, be sure to go there. We love you guys. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.